So I started using Notion around 5 years ago to basically run my entire life. Everything from weekly reviews to taking notes to taking book notes, organizing my content calendar. But since around 3 months ago, I discovered Obsidian, and now I spend around 80 to 90% of my time using Obsidian. So in this video, I'll go over why I switched over from Notion to Obsidian. I'll show you my old Notion setup, what I liked about it, what are some of the weaknesses of Notion, and of course, more importantly, why I prefer Obsidian now, and some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. I'll show you how I ported some of my most favorite features over from Notion to Obsidian, for example, like this really cool library view that I use to track and take notes of some of my favorite books, as well as how I use Obsidian now for my content creation. So basically, I'll be sharing some of the tips of what I've learned in the last sort of 3 months of using Obsidian from the lens of a really long time experienced Notion user. We'll go through how I set up this really pleasing theme, some plugins. Basically, I'll just give you an inside look at my Obsidian Vault as it currently is. Okay, so starting with some of the strengths of Notion, and pretty much the only thing that I still use Notion for, and that is for my daily tasks. I feel like one of the most powerful things that Notion offers is this ability to really customize your views exactly how you like it. So for example, I have this daily dashboard that pulls in from one single database of all of the tasks that I have to do, but is able to split it in a really cool way. So you have a calendar view, you have a Kanban view of where the tasks go, but also crucially, you're able to split it so that it only displays the tasks that you have to do on that specific day, as well as the month's view. So at one glance, it gives you a really powerful overview of all of the stuff you have coming up, as well as hyper focusing on the stuff that just has one day. And of course, you have the whole drag and drop interface. It's all very user friendly. So Obsidian recently released something very similar with something called bases, which are just basically databases, and it allows you to mimic a lot of the effects of Notion databases, but it isn't quite as slick for certain applications which I use, which are tasks. So the other really cool feature that Notion has, and to my knowledge Obsidian doesn't have, are relational databases. So what it means is that one database can pull in data from a different database, and one application that I use it for that I found really cool is, for example, I have my daily review, which would be a track of all of the things I've done on that specific day, any thoughts or any observations and stuff like this. And then I have a weekly database which links to each one of those days. So when I would get to my end of week review and I click on it, it would automatically populate with all of the stuff that I've done that week. So I don't have to go thinking and remembering all of the things I've done that week. It's got all of my completed tasks, all of my daily thoughts, everything in there. So it's all ready for me to do my weekly review. And of course, the same thing would happen with my monthly review. That would pull in all of the data from my weekly review and it would go up and up. So basically nothing really gets lost and everything like feeds up, which I really loved. So when I use Notion, I had this knowledge lab thing, which would just be all the subject areas that I was interested in that time, and it would contain references to things. And probably one of my most favorite features was this library view. Basically, it would take in all of the highlights I would read from books from my readwise, and it would automatically sync into my Notion. So when I would click on this library view, each individual book would have all of the highlights there, and I could track how many days I've read it. I really like this. So everything was really nicely integrated. It was basically a life OS. I did run my entire life on Notion. So if it was so good, why did I switch over to Obsidian mainly? So going on this theme of running my entire life on Notion, one thing that was always on the back of my mind that I didn't really like was that you don't really own your own data. And I was becoming more and more conscious of this as the years went on, and as I was uploading more and more data, more personal things, and it was getting to the point where it was so much of my life was on there, and you really are locked onto their platform. First and foremost, they're an online only app. So for the longest time, only until very recently, they allowed you to run an offline mode. But even then, it's, from what I've seen from user reviews, it's a very half-assed attempt and it's not actually very good. It's still primarily designed for you to only run online to get all of its features. And because you are locked onto their ecosystem, they can really sneakily basically sell you onto their premium plans and things like this. And it was pretty much the case for me. After you've been using it for a certain amount of time, the free plan just is not enough. And I've been a premium member for years, and just as an anecdote, I reached out to support like literally years ago, and they still haven't come back to me on a support issue that I had at the time. With Obsidian, you own your notes entirely. When I found this out, I was so happy. It was basically such a breath of fresh air. So all of the notes that you take are simply markdown files, which are plain text files that sit in a file on your computer. So you have full control over your notes. So no matter what happens to Obsidian, or even if nothing happens to Obsidian, if you decide to take your notes to a different platform or do anything with it, you have full control over it. Because I've seen over the years some of the horror stories of Notion, with some people having their entire databases completely deleted. If that happened to me when I was using it at its peak or during a project that would really screw me up, the amount of data I had on it and how much I was relying on Notion. And what's really cool about Markdown is that it's been around for 20 years and it's a very standard file type that's used for developers all around the world for documentation and stuff like this, and it's probably one of the most highly compatible file types there are. And I've found it such a breath of fresh air using Notion for such a long time. So the way to see it is that basically Obsidian is a jacked up text editor. So I just really like the philosophy of the team behind Obsidian and how they give you full control. For example, you don't even need to set up an account. You can just download it and open a vault and use it straight away. You don't need to put in your email, nothing like this. And just to show you how streamlined and light it is, I've been using Obsidian for about 3 months and I've been using it every single day to take lots and lots of notes. So I've got roughly 500 something notes in there, and my entire vault with all of my notes, my newsletters, my book quotes only comes to 11 megabytes, which is kind of crazy. And another reason I was so hyped up about the thing of giving you control and the plain text files is that Markdown files are probably the most compatible files with AI. With other ecosystems like Notion, you don't have that granularity of controlling exactly what you give to AI. There's risks of data leaks and stuff like this. But because all of the files are within your control exactly, you have the choice of what access you want to give to AI if you so choose to help you out, or you could not use AI at all. It basically, going back to that whole thing, it gives you full control of what you want to do to suit your exact work stream. So having said all of that, I only found all of this stuff out after I had set Obsidian up on my laptop. So what actually got me to go and download it in the first place, and the number one feature I'm using it for, is this whole feature of being able to link your notes and having backlinks. So in short, basically allows you to connect one note to another, whereas with Notion I would have to spend a lot of time organizing notes, tagging notes, seeing what folder it went in, seeing what subject area in the knowledge lab it went in. With Obsidian is the complete opposite. With old systems, the more notes you take, the more cluttered it gets and the harder it gets to find things. With Obsidian, basically the more notes you take, the more connections you make, the more it compounds and it feeds into the whole thing, and more and more connections get strengthened and it adds to the conversation. So instead of folders and subfolders, you get a really rich graph that looks like this, where everything gets compounded over time and strengthens one another. So this is the CEO of Obsidian saying how he uses it. I use Obsidian to think, take notes, write essays, and publish this site. This is my bottom-up approach to note-taking and organizing things I am interested in. It embraces chaos and laziness to create emergent structure. So this is the exact philosophy I'm using. So instead of the Notion example where I would spend endless time trying to tag my notes and having a lot of decision fatigue deciding where things go, with Obsidian I'm doing a bottom-up approach, which just means that you're not presupposing what categories your notes go in. You let the notes form organic connections and you let them tell you where the interesting topics of conversation are, how clusters naturally form and what they connect to, and you just have this emergent structure coming out, and lots of connections maybe would even surprise you that you didn't really expect in the first place. And a really powerful thing with this is, in Notion, where I would spend time meticulously archiving things, I would never actually go back to it, whereas with this linked approach, everything just emerges at exactly the right time. And so really embracing this lazy, organized chaos approach, so you don't spend time just faffing about with tags and folders and stuff. You just put your notes in, form the connections, and you can focus on what really matters most, which is doing the writing. So I really love this graph view in Obsidian, and I actually spend so much time in here just thinking and following the connections, trying to find new connections, because when it comes to learning, studies have actually shown it's not to do with the maximum capacity of what your brain can store, but the real bottleneck is being able to retrieve what's relevant at the exact right time you need it, and what we can hold in our short-term memory and attention. And with this system, basically you've offloaded all of the stuff you need to remember. It completely frees up capacity to form connections and to think creatively. Right, okay, so now let's have a look at my Obsidian Vault. So when I use my Obsidian Vault, one thing I do on most days is to use one of their native plugins, which is the daily note template. It's a hotkey that creates a new note with today's date on it, and I've set it up with a template that has a lot of writing prompts on there, things that I may want to write about, and then also at the bottom it displays another note, which are thoughts that I want to keep on top of my mind through a linked note. So another side point, I really love this theme that I'm using. I didn't really think it would make that much difference, but having a nice pleasant theme actually changes the environment and it makes me want to write so much more. I actually got this off Nick Milo here on YouTube. If you really want to nerd out and go into the weeds of Obsidian, make sure you check out his channel. His stuff is the best I found on anything Obsidian related. So with plugins in general, my philosophy is just to keep it as simple as possible. I see a lot of people when they download Obsidian or even Notion back in the day, they'll immediately go on the forums and say, oh, what are the best plugins, what do I need, and then go off and download 50 plugins and spend ages and ages working out the best settings, how they can use it. But in my opinion, this is completely backwards. Why would you download a plugin and then try and find a use case for it? It should be the completely other way around. Just keep it very streamlined. Use the basic features. The basic features actually do a lot, and only if you come up against an issue and you really need a plugin to do it, then you install it. So that's exactly the philosophy I follow. So I use actually very few plugins. It's mostly stock. If you look at my plugins, I have the official Readwise plugin, so I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but I've been using the app for years and years now. So what I would do is when I'm reading a book, I would basically, if I come across a quote that I quite like, I just take a picture of it and it would automatically sync via this plugin into my library, so it's all there and I can reference it through my notes. And once it gets pulled from Readwise to Obsidian, I've actually recently implemented this really beautiful library view. It was actually posted by none other than the CEO of Obsidian himself. So I've posted a link in the description if you wanted to implement this in your own setup. It's got step-by-step instructions. All you need to do is follow it. That's what I did to get this effect. And one thing I've ported over from my Notion days is this content creator factory, basically dashboard view. So with Notion, I used it to manage my property TikTok channel, and I've basically ported it over here. It just basically gives me a high-level overview of things. So all the way from potential idea, going through to writing, to publish, and a calendar view to see when things are being published. So with stuff like this, which are basically dashboards with lots of views and drag and drop, Notion is still slightly better, but with Basis I can still kind of do the job in Obsidian. So with this dashboard I have the full calendar view plugin and the data view plugin. And so finally I have this other plugin that basically auto switches themes between dark and light mode, because I quite like the stock theme in Obsidian when we're using the dark mode, and I use the dark mode when I'm looking at the graph. So I look at the graph a lot when I'm looking for ideas, when I just want to refine my thinking, stuff like this. But then actually when I want to write, I want to use this theme and not the Obsidian stock light theme. So basically this plugin just allows me to auto switch between them very quickly. So general tips for starting with Obsidian is just to keep it really simple. Don't fall into the trap of watching endless YouTube videos hunting for the perfect setup, because it doesn't exist, because everyone has very unique needs. I started off with literally 5 folders and it pretty much is still that now. So make sure we remember to follow that Obsidian CEO's philosophy of laziness and organized chaos. Remember, the most important things is to actually take the notes themselves. This is just to help you do that. Let the notes and the connections tell you where the interesting things are, and we should be very selective with plugins and only really install them if you can't do it with this stock app. And so let me know if you found this video helpful, and consider subscribing if you did.